I'm on Instagram more than I'm on Facebook.
Yeah.
I follow George Takei, and
Who is he?
If you remember the old school Star Trek, he's Sulu.
The Asian dude. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's Sulu. And I thought it was interesting, like, him and William Shatner, Captain Kirk, like, in real life, they had, like, a butting of heads, because Shatner's a man's man. He's, like, the coolest guy in the world.
He's John Wayne of Star Trek.
Right. You know what I mean?
Fuck all the bitches.
Exactly.
Get all the damn attention. He's a stud muffin.
Yeah, and he is. And when he would be around George Takei, he would be kind of, like, off-put. Because Takei is openly, flamboyantly gay.
Okay.
Openly in real life. You know, he just, hi. You know what I mean? That kind of guy.
Okay.
That's literally his voice, too. Hi.
Okay.
You know? And I think George Takei is a character. I follow him because I always he was just funny. You know what I mean? To me. I was like, and the funny thing is, I don't follow William Shatner. That's not on purpose. I just realized that. But, you know, so on one side, I'm following Takei.
Right.
But actually, I'm more like William Shatner as far as being more, like, conservative in my manliness and stuff like that. I really stopped fucking... I still follow him, but everything he's been posting ever since the Trump administration thing, back when Trump was getting elected and all that, so it's literally been like 2 years or so. Everything that he posts is super, not religious, politically charged and democratic.
Yeah.
And far left. Like this last post, Dear Senate Republicans, blocking the January 6th commission speaks volumes about what traitorous pigs you really are. You reek of guilt, right? Blocking the January 6th commission just means that the Republicans don't want to waste a bunch of time and money and resources on proving that it wasn't them that stormed the Capitol. That it was, not only did Antifa have a play in it, but also the police there actually removed the barricades and said, come on in. And they did.
I did hear that.
No, I saw the video.
Okay.
It's down now, but if you've been alive and working with this the whole time, then you saw things you can't find now, but don't forget them just because you can't find them.
That's a problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a problem. Like, you know, when shit starts
just disappears. Right. I literally saw the cops open the gates and say, come on in, come on in.
Yeah.
And that video is gone.
Right. See, the thing is because they were instructed to do that.
Right.
Yeah. But see, the problem with that shit is, bro, it's like it's almost like the shit has become a movie. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, if there's no footage, it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we can't pull it up somewhere, it didn't happen. You know,
exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's a dangerous thing. That's a dangerous fucking thing.
It is. It's very dangerous. And not to mention the narrative twisting. Because if you really think about what happened, whenever we have, like, a riot, like was happening back for the last few years, we've been having protests and stuff where...
More than just that, but go ahead.
Literally, fences were torn down. Windows broken.
Destruction of private property no longer makes it just, you know what I mean, you know,
a
protest.
So when I start seeing what's actually happening here, I see that the Republicans, especially like back during the Stop the Steal rally and all that, we will walk all the way up to the fence with our protest.
Right.
Fuck this, all the way up to the gate.
Right. But we're not going to bust it down.
Stop.
Yeah.
Right? I may protest some company, but not by breaking their windows.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So
that's counterproductive.
Right. So when they knew this January 6th protest was coming, all these Republicans were going to come here. There was all these barricades were put up. The Republicans were not going to break through the barricades. So they had to open them.
Yeah.
And then once they were opened, there was another set of barricades leading straight into the Capitol. Right? All the footage they show of the people going into the Capitol are walking through two fenced off. There's two fences, so everybody's being driven down a path.
Yeah.
If the Capitol, if they weren't meant to go in there, why would there be a path made for them all the way through the Capitol building?
Right. Like, this is the way.
Right.
Like the Mandalorian, this is the way. Like,
exactly.
come on in.
So, you know, it's
actually like Price is Right. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Wrong.
Right. And I'm just watching the whole thing happen, and I'm like, this guy.
It's a setup. Like we were talking the other day and shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't slip, you don't get caught slipping.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Don't put yourself somewhere where you can slip.
Yeah. See, I mean, what's done is done, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like, part of like declaration. You know, when you say what you're gonna do openly. You know what I mean? What would have been good is like, all right, we're not gonna pass this spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we're gonna do. We're not gonna pass this spot. Make sure you don't pass this spot. So anybody passes that spot, you know what I mean? But see, even still by saying that though, bro, just because a fucking person or persons decide to do it and shit, bro, like, motherfuckers still gonna spin it. You know what I mean? And the proof is in, like, you know, how you were talking about, you know what I mean? Video being posted up for a minute, and all of a sudden, nah, get rid of that shit. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna just wipe the slate on that shit completely, which alludes to an even bigger issue. You know what I mean? It alludes to a much bigger issue. I ain't even just lying, bro.
Liars and thieves, bro. It's liars and thieves. They're liars. They are making us think things so they can get at the money easier.
Let me ask you this question. And I'm gonna spell this out, you know, just basic terms and shit. But just let me ask you this question. When you look at that scenario, right, where narratives get spun, you know, there's obvious fuckery in a word. You know what I'm saying? And then you see instances where certain videos that are pertinent to the truth disappear. Would you call that a conspiracy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's the definition of conspiracy.
Yeah,
let's allow this to happen and not this to happen. Mm. I mean, need you and you and you in on it. Mm. You know, that's a conspiracy.
Yeah. Especially with information that was captured in whatever, you know, media format that is pertinent to the truth.
Right.
And it vanishes.
Well, that is honestly, that is the biggest problem we face today. Yeah. Is all of the bots on the internet that are made to stop information. And like it used to be, just a free access to information. Whatever you want to find, look it up. Right?
Yeah.
And the newest innovation in the internet has basically been roadblocks. Mm. You know, that's their newest innovation is like, okay, we can now stop it.
Yeah.
Now let's stop the internet. Let's turn the internet into broadcast television that we get to decide what you see and what you want to look at.
I'm going to tell you something to that point too. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how this ties into it, but it's connected to it, right? I seen some shit a couple of days ago that Facebook has, you know, lifted their suppression of information that goes against the narrative, right? Because, like, you know, I was doing some digging and doing some reading, and I came across, you know, a couple different articles. I don't have websites off the top of the head. I'm sure if I go to my history, I can find it. But it was talking about how Facebook had algorithms, right, for certain content that, you know, goes against what's, you know, been reported by whatever entity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got what you're saying.
And they would
press it down, not let it be shown on, like, well, see, the difference between Facebook and everything else, though, is that I'm not seeing a bunch of random things on Facebook, although that changed recently. I will give it that. Things I'm not subscribed to, things that I've never even clicked on or asked questions about, suddenly I'm getting shown things. YouTube's doing that too. Anybody who does YouTube a lot knows about the algorithm that's happening right now, where like old videos from back in the day, suddenly there's like 100 of us like commenting on it in one day because YouTube decided just to throw some old shit at us that we never saw.
What's that word again?
I don't know what.
Algorithm.
Yeah.
All right, you do. Put that motherfucker right across the bottom of the screen, right there. Just algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Algorithm.
You know, I've used the word algorithm before. I think it just flies past people's heads.
Exactly. Because that's why you need to just algorithm. Just stick that in there.
I don't know how many times I've said this. If you actually like the show and you want to see it keep going,
share that motherfucker.
Make a comment
and share
and hit like. You don't even have to share. Just hit comment and like. And if you do want to share, fine. But hit comment, make a comment, and hit like, because that just shows the base level of like support.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, man. I've never been one really. I feel uncomfortable when I make segments in my show asking for.
I understand
things.
I understand.
I don't want to ask for likes. I don't even like putting up the I sell glass shit, because it's like I don't know what do I want out of this? Like, I'm not here to get fucking like super famous.
Right.
I'm just here for a fucking. I like doing this.
Like you're pitching a rock in the fucking ocean, but with the 40-foot 3-point fadeaway, just
right. And it is like skipping rocks. It's like skipping rocks, actually.
Yeah.
It's for you.
Yeah.
I skipped that rock. Look how it went. Skip. Oh, that was a good skip. I liked that skip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The next time you throw it, it might like skip once and dud out. But that's life. That's every episode of this show.
Skipping rocks, yeah.
It may dud. It may fucking fly like right.
Or you get one. You think you spun that motherfucker right, and it'll just go bloop. You're like, fuck.
I think what's happening here is we're getting to this point where people, not only girls, people are expecting the most. I mean, expecting the most. You know what I mean? They want everything their specific way, and anything that starts changing from that way, they can't tolerate it. And they don't remember the fact that we live in a giant world, and they start thinking that everything revolves around them. You know what I mean?
So we got like 9 billion worlds on one world.
Exactly.
That's like the weirdest MMO ever.
Luckily, it's only like.
Let me ask you a question though, real shit. Out of those 9 billion people in the MMO, how many of them are fucking just what is it?
NPCs?
Yeah. Well, how many are NPCs, man?
91%. I'm gonna say 91 point something percent, because I give us a 7 point something percent intelligence rate on this planet. Like literally, people walking down the street, not thinking a thing. Like they know that when they get to the crosswalk, that they have to wait for the light to turn.
Yeah.
So they do it. And there's like literally years go by where not a single thought has come into their head that would benefit any of us.
Well, you know what I mean? I got you, man, but you know, that's asking a lot in itself too. You know what I mean? Because like you know how people say, you know, everybody has some talent or ability, or anybody can be great, blah 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 blah. Like there's something out there that you're fucking good at. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to say that shit's a lie, but you know what I mean? It's a simple fact of life, man, that not everybody is going to, you know, be the fucking superstar in life. You know what I mean? That's just not how the shit fucking works. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like, you know, if you haven't come up with even just a thought that can be impactful for somebody in life, it's kind of asking a lot, but in a way it's kind of not. But that's only if you differentiate between, you know, for example, me living my life, and have I ever come up with anything or did anything that might have helped somebody forward in life, you know what I mean, that I might have come across in my life, you know what I'm saying? Now, if we're talking from just that perspective, then that's not asking a lot. But if you're talking about from the perspective that every person comes with something that benefits all of humanity, that's asking a lot. Because, yeah, I remember, some people aren't cerebral. Some people are just better at doing.
But narrow it down to just inside of their mind. Like a thought could come up like, you know what? I really should like start helping out when I see things happen.
Give me an example, like a crime being committed, or
I'll tell you,
or like, or even like an old lady got a bunch of bags trying to get on the bus. Let me help her with some of these bags, if she'll let me.
Right, from my own personal experience, I've seen things happen when I didn't help, and at some point, I was like, in my mind, I was like, you know, maybe I should just start, and not say fucking like I don't want to stand out or something. Like, so if I'm on the bus and that lady's getting on the bus and she's literally putting bags from the stop in front of there, running back and forth because she's got so many bags. Right. Just went to the grocery store. What are you doing, lady? Right? I'm not so nice that I'm not going to say that's dumb. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work. Maybe you have to do it. Maybe you have to do this work now. But also, like, come on, let's all work together and try to figure something out here. If you don't have anybody in your life, I'll stand up. Right? and I'll help you get all your bags on. As a matter of fact, oh, wait, you're about to get off here? I'll help you. I'll walk to your house with your bags with you, and then I'll go get on the bus again.
Right.
Wait for the bus and catch another one.
Right. Like, from that level, that's not asking a lot. It really ain't.
Right, but that's what I'm saying about each person, because we go by ignoring everything, and that's the problem with the world, is we don't pay attention and don't care. As most people, they don't care. So you'll see one or two guys a month help somebody. You know,
what you're describing is a lack of a sense of community. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you from that perspective.
And a lot of it comes from self-centeredness.
Not true. You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, it also comes from this constant force of divisiveness. Just so many different various perspectives and variants on creating divisiveness rather than togetherness. You know what I'm saying?
Can you imagine if
like enjoying things together as opposed to like going into an interaction with the intention of being controversial and static and toxic and all of that shit.
Correct.
You know what
So what I'm saying is, can you imagine the world, how America would be if when people were coming here, they were told this is the land of the free, and they were like, we want to come here. So they come here, and then when they get here, they hear from us, yeah, it is. We got your back. But instead what they hear is, once they get here, it's like, listen, white people will fuck you over. You know what I mean? And watch out for blacks, too, because they'll rob you. Watch out for everything. Yeah. By the way, all of a sudden, you're in this land of the quote-unquote free, and you can't do what you thought you were going to do. This guy from Iran he lives in Florida, right? I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, guy. I'll post it underneath. I'll look it up. And he came here from a war-torn country where he lived in a POW camp, was tortured and all that shit. Finally got himself out of Iran, made it to America, became a Floridian, and was like, I'm going to take this bubble, I'm going to get in this bubble, and I'm going to walk across I'm going to walk to Bermuda in the water. So he puts his bubble in the water and he starts going for it. And next thing you know, the Coast Guard's out there. You can't do this, sir. By order of the Coast Guard, your trip is terminated. And then they sunk his vessel, which was like, he spent a long time making it. He got the bubble, but he also made a rack for it, put basketballs all around it to keep it stable. He had a GPS thing inside. He had his laptop and everything inside, and they sunk it with a bullet. They shot it and sunk that shit. They were like, you can't do this. And he was like, man, you don't understand how confused I was, because I came from Iran to the land of the free. And I said, finally, I get to do what I want, and whatever my mind can come up with, I get to do. Because this is America. But actually, you can't do whatever your mind comes up with. In fact, like, there's so many people that are out there surveying what all the minds are coming up with and stopping them from innovating anything.
Yeah.
This is what makes you want to go from being a Republican to being a complete anarchist. I don't want to go to the left, because I'm never going to be a liar. I'm not going to go all the way over to the left and say, okay, yeah, babies can't think until they're born. Or I'm not going to go all the way over and say, yeah, people shouldn't eat meat, and cows are killing the ozone layer. It's not happening. I'm not going to lie. The earth isn't flat. I'm not going to jump from that to that. I'm just going to go from being very conservative to being like, all right, if we got to tear it down, let's tear it the fuck down.
Hey, let me throw something in real quick. For people that got the mindset that know a baby doesn't have any thoughts or whatever until it's born, just because of the way culture is right now, you know what you should do?
Oh, man, you are touchy.
You know what you do?
Go ahead.
Force them to sit down and watch the movie Look Who's Talking.
Come on, man. You know, that is the biggest right-wing troll I could think of. If I was thinking about it, I'd be like, have them watch Look Who's Talking. And then they would be like, oh, because it's like burns them to think like there's a whole movie about the fact that in the very beginning.
I'm gonna tell you what happened, bro. Like, they might think that shit. I'm like, look, I ain't trying to bitch right now. Just sit down, get comfortable. You know, have some food, have some drink, whatever the fuck you want. Shit, just watch the movie. Like by the end of that movie, man, they'll fucking enjoy it.
Possibly,
you know
unless some people hate babies. They hate them. I've seen it.
Well, then that's an extremist view and shit, and then then how you feel about it shouldn't count, man.
And then when you get them,
you don't need to be on that edge with that shit.
You get them in a group.
Cause think about it, bro. Think about how sick that shit is. Like, you hate the essence of how we continue to exist.
Right.
That's what you're saying. The fuck? Like, nigga, your opinion is null and void. The fuck?
Sex with men is what makes us exist too. Let me tell you this: there's a.
What do you mean, sex with men? No.
If you're a woman and you have sex with a man.
Okay. Because you just said sex with men.
We're talking about women. We're talking about women here.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna tell you this. Okay. I had a girl.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. I'm not tooting my horn. I have to say this for the sake of this.
Go for it.
At the same time, another girl liked me, right?
Mm-hmm. Not as uncommon as you think.
It's not as uncommon, right? So I'm with a girl. This other girl likes me, right? And there is yet again another female in the house who has expressed some kind of interest for me. But one day, we're all hanging around, and it's the same thing. I'm pretty good at navigating that kind of life. You know, I'm not going to insult or hurt anybody's feelings. Mm-hmm. So one day...
Like, hold up. What he really saying what I was saying, so I'm going to say in the form?
I don't cheat.
He just come in the joint, put his dick on the table. You know what I'm saying? He just come in the joint straight up, put his dick on the table, and it's like, that's just what it is. They love me.
It is not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when I'm around a situation like that, I keep the dick, like, in the house. That way it's not like, hey, girls. You know what I mean? I keep the dick in the house. But here's the thing, though. One day,
bro. I'm with you, man.
And this was some years ago, but one day this girl comes over that everybody knew, and she was a lesbian. Mm-hmm. And she was the type of lesbian that is, like, super cool. Really short, spiky hair, like... tank tops, kind of got muscles a little bit. Very pretty.
Butch?
Very pretty, but like kind of boyish.
Okay.
Like boyish.
Boyish, tomboyish?
Yeah. Okay. Definitely not girly at all.
Okay, so more butch then.
Yes.
Okay.
And all the girls there could not leave the living room. They all wanted to be around this girl. Yeah. And all of them were pretending and playing like they're so fucking... like, not conservative and like, down with anything. And I swear, every single one of them wanted to be a lesbian at that moment. Every one of them. And when I came around, listen, I came in the living room, and I was like, hey.
I'm going to make, just before you continue, I just want to make sure I'm on the same page with you. Like, the motherfuckers you describing this shit are all heterosexual males.
No, these are women.
Oh, these are all chicks?
All girls.
Okay, around this... lesbian chick.
Around a lesbian. Okay. She comes in, and all of a sudden, for one good night, all those girls had this different attitude that was just so different. And they were all just being all, like, super playful and giggly about it. And I stepped in, me and my buddy, we're about to go out and hit a J. And I'm like, hey, to my girl, you trying to go hit this? She was just like,
no.
You know what I mean? Like... boys, you know, like that's how it really came off. Like the way she acted, it was more like
this is the girls' club right now.
Right,
Yeah.
Right, girls.
Yeah.
Right, girls. You know what I mean? They're all just like, man, yeah, you boys wish you could be on this. I'll tell you what, girls. Really, realistically, when I see like a bunch of girls getting freaky together, it makes me uncomfortable. I don't really mind like threesome type things, even like orgies if it's set up or something, you know. But like to have the girls acting the specific way around themselves, you gotta be some kind of dude and get in there and control that shit. Otherwise, they'll have you pushed off to the side while they're like doing all their thing together. It's just there's something about that whole dynamic.
Now, see,
they don't do that with men. They don't just let go. No, they have to keep their shit together and keep everything under control and keep the guy thinking that they're this type of person and all that shit. But then, like, you get a situation where, I don't even know why I brought this up, to be honest. But
it goes back to what I said. When you see a situation like that, that's when you come in and put your dick on the table.
Well, no. Here's where we could go with this.
Bam!
No, but here's
break
what
the edge of the tape. Like, what the fuck was that?
Listen, listen,
Dick.
man. This is fucking God damn. Listen,
Go ahead, bro.
No, listen. Linda, listen. You have to listen. No, I'm just kidding. You got some more shit to say about flopping cocks, man? Because
I mean, bro, I'm gonna tell you like this.
is that what happens? You ever been in a 3-way?
Yes, I have.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you run the show?
Like, okay, all right. I've done it at least once for sure. At least once for sure. In the first experience, I didn't like. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, man, you're making me think you're suspect here.
Nah, definitely.
How do you not know if there was 2 times?
No, I'm talking about occasions that I had a 3-way.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. If I had 17, I'd remember every one.
Nah, it's not that.
How you like? I don't know. Maybe I had 2. There was that time with the
No.
Norwegian and the
No. I don't mean like if I'm not sure if it was 1 or 2 people. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about number of occasions.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, because I don't remember the exact number. The fuck you want me to say?
But if it was only 2, you have to remember.
That's what I was trying to think about. I know it's at least once. Okay, at least once.
All right.
Okay, goddamn, for sure I know at least once, right? Because like I said, the first time I did it, I was just like, I ain't feeling this and shit. So I was just like, I'm out.
Oh man,
I'm out.
that's what. You can't end it like how?
Because it wasn't 2 bitches.
It wasn't 2. Oh yeah, exactly.
Right.
No, you don't want to get dotted, bro.
Nah.
Motherfucking junk just dots you. Ah!
Oh,
You're like,
okay,
no!
yeah.
You know, you get a dot on your thigh.
Yeah.
That joint got a fucking Parmesan string hanging from, like, your thigh now to the tip of somebody's dick.
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
Stopping that shit. You know what I mean? Like, point blank. But
I mean, like, we talking sexually and shit. Like, when it comes to that shit, I prefer just one-on-one.
But what about, like, okay, what about
I
this?
prefer that.
Devil's Triangle, right? High-fiving in the middle. You know, we breaking it off, right? Is it gay to high-five?
No, but I don't want to do that either.
Right. All right.
That's what I'm saying, cuz, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not my vibe, so I'm just like, and because I knew what, I'm just like, you know, I'm going to bounce, Sean.
It made me think of
Skating.
that made me think of Lonely Island, man. They got some funny songs, man. I'm a motherfucker, you're a motherfucker. We should fuck each other's mothers. Let's fuck each other's moms.
No.
That shit was
Shit. Anybody that I fucking know in reality try to fuck my mom, nigga, I'm gonna beat the shit out you.
Dude, what if she... No, okay. I'm not...
Period.
Hey, you know what?
Period.
What if it's a trap, then?
Period.
Listen, man, I don't want to go down this road any farther. Okay? Because
Don't
jokes,
confuse what I'm saying.
the jokes are too plentiful at this point. Like, shit can just go.
Like mama jokes too. I don't play that shit either.
I know you don't. I know. Even from way back in the day,
Hey, you know what
it
I'm
used to
saying?
be like, lob a mama joke at you, but run.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. You know what I mean? And because I said that, I also don't do them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm always gonna show respect to people's moms. You know what I'm saying?
I tell you what,
Because I
man,
was raised like that.
I don't know how I was raised, but I have this insanely like comedic mind. So a joke comes about everything.
Yeah.
Like everything. And the worse the joke, the better.
I see, like, if I'm at a show or whatever and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude just cracking jokes and he say a mama joke and shit. I'm at the show, my nigga. I might not like it, but, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna, like, ruin the set doing some stupid shit. But, like, if I'm at a show and a motherfucker, because you know how sometimes comedians interact with the people in the audience.
Single
and
you
shit.
out.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Try to go on to some shit about my mama and shit. I'm gonna tell him shit like, Slim, I know you're doing your set. You know what I mean? I'll stop the shit. I'm like, Slim, I know you're doing your set. You know what I'm saying? Go do that mama joke shit on somebody else, cuz I don't play with that shit.
Somebody wasn't breastfed. Ah ha ha, and then everybody starts laughing.
Just like I'm not worried about that. I'm just tell the nigga straight up, like, Slim. I mean, but the thing is, even if you try like try to deflect it like that and shit,
Right.
he know what the fuck I'm saying. You know what I mean? So if he do it again, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna fucking get up. Like, then I'm gonna really ruin the show because I done told you.
Yeah, but you just made the show viral. You just made the show great. Honestly, that's what happened. And all those jokes are going to spread now because everybody's going to look for that video where the dude beat up the comic or, or the bouncers jumped in or whatever the case may be.
I mean, they could try to jump in, but like, I mean, if it really had to go that far, they can try to jump in. But I would have got to him first, and then it would have really went viral.
Man, you know what would be the best though if Jerry Springer walked out on stage, and the bouncers are stopping you, and Jerry's out there just
Stupid
like
as shit. Like, nigga, it's a show within a show.
Dude, Jerry Springer is an American pastime.
Yeah.
I swear, like there's a certain place you can be in the histories of America, in the histories of like entertainment, you know,
and not know Jerry Springer. But see, I'm gonna tell you something about that shit though. The way that whole goddamn show was built, controversy, crazy cash. The way that whole show was built, bro. A lot of the shit that people laugh at in these motherfucking shows, nigga, if it was happening to you, you'd be like, ugh.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
And that's
the problem.
A lot of the big draw to that is like, how is it that just a little bit of cash and some time on Springer will allow people to air their dirty laundry in front of millions? You know what I mean? But you know how many of those people made out later? Like
probably not most.
No, tons of people from like Jerry Springer and shit have like Instagram accounts and shit that are doing all right. Like a lot of people. I mean, look at the Dr. Phil did that with the Cash Me Outside girl. You know what I mean? He turned her into a millionaire.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Right.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, unintentionally, by the way.
Yes.
He was trying to just make himself rich
Yeah.
off of the. That's the thing about Jerry, Maury, Dr. Phil, all of them. It's like, well, let's take these downtrodden people and laugh at them. Right?
Yeah.
They do things that we would never think to do.
That's despicable when you think about it.
It is.
You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pulling you like this, Jehan. I don't pay attention to that little broad like that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I know what the fuck she be doing. Like, her rap name is Bad Baby. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Some of her shit alright. No bullshit. Some of her stuff is alright.
Hey, I'm not one of those people who's afraid to like things.
No bullshit. I'm gonna tell you something. Like, you talking about he made her $1 million and shit. I don't know how much money she done made off her rap shit, but I know she done made some money.
Yeah, a lot.
I'm
I'm following her on Instagram and on YouTube. As a matter of fact, right now,
You see how much she made first day she turned 18 on the fucking OnlyFans, nigga? Because she posted that shit.
it was disturbing.
Yeah.
To be quite frank.
Yeah.
It was disturbing.
Yeah.
Which leads me to the...
Like, I'm talking, like, you talking about, remember, skipping a rock in the ocean, nigga? Them niggas drowning in that ocean.
Well, my thing is, then you're looking at the simp army. Something we were touching on a private conversation the other day. The army of men out there who are literally, like, 3 times obese and bald, who are clicking follow and making beautiful girls feel like they have, like, a following of men, knowing that 90% of the guys that follow them, they would never talk to, right? They would never accept them for real as an actual person in their house follower.
I got you, but you know what I'm saying? You can't fault them for that.
No, but I mean,
fault them for that.
Don't you? We do fault them for being narcissistic, but we also give them likes and looks and comments.
But see, like, the problem is when you let the shit go to your head. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem right there.
But how could it not? If you're a female and you post one thing and 1 million people like it.
That's the difference between being arrogant and being humble.
I'm saying, dude, if I just post one picture of myself with my ass out and I'm a girl, you know, where my ass isn't even out, just in some nice tight jeans, and then I get a fucking 1 million people that click like, and people are sharing my booty, and then all of a sudden I'm getting all these fucking comments and requests from men and offers and all this stuff, it's going to go to my head. A man cannot woo a woman and then tell her not to feel like wooed. You know, you can't give a woman a certain frame of mind and then expect her not to be that way.
I understand what you're saying. You know what I mean? But that's just, you know, when you start talking character and how people built. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, the thing is, bro, like, if you post a motherfucking picture of your shit that got anything to do with just your ass or your titties or both, You know what I'm saying? Like, you already putting out there what type of person that you are. You know what I mean? So from that respect, if she put it out there like that, you know what I mean? Like, nigga, you already know what time it is. So, you know what I mean? If you click the like and you're doing all the sharing and offering and all of this shit, my nigga, that just means that you with it.
Well,
like, I'm not saying that it's right.
Technically, if you go to Las Vegas, you'll find all over the streets and all over the place stacks and things lying around of cards, like almost like baseball cards.
Okay.
Of prostitutes, like, hi, I'm Bambi. Call me. This much for this much. This much if you want me to bring my friend. This much for this much. All on this little card, right? And that was pretty much one of the only places where it's legal in this country to do that, right? And it was also one of the only places where you could see just a random girl next door showing her titties and her ass, right? You have to either look at a porno or go find a prostitute.
Okay.
I'm saying, so now we've got these girls, they're on Instagram, and we're loving the fuck out of it, but what I see is a literal advertisement for a prostitute.
Yeah.
Like, here's my titties,
that's what I'm saying.
Here's my ass. Here's how they bounce and jiggle while we're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, if you were doing me,
this is what it would look like.
This is what would be happening. And hit me up in this way, shape, and form, right? Do you think, like, that these girls don't pick at least one of their followers who seems to be the richest and go hang out with them?
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if it was multiple.
I'm just saying. Like, I'm only asking about one.
I got you. And the answer is 100% yes. The answer is 100% yes.
97. Some girls are just like, no, I do OnlyFans and stuff, but I have a boyfriend. Not going to cheat. Some girls. Girls.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right when you go all the way up high in the percentage.
Yeah, absolutely. But see, I mean, bro, even within whatever percentile you want to call that of, like you said, the chicks that got a boyfriend but do OnlyFans and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, whether or not she'd do something all depend on what that nigga standing on. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he, doing this shit or whatever, nah, she ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because she probably know he could do better. But whatever. You know what I mean? But like, if her dude just bullshitting or whatever, my nigga, absolutely she would.
I tell you, man,
that'd be like the ones her and her friends take to the grave and shit. But yeah,
women can really get us confused, man. It can like the thought process in my mind goes back and forth and flips and flops, and it's so hard for me to come to a steady center middle ground as far as my opinions and thoughts about women. I can't just say I feel this way about them, and that's politically correct. And I can't just say, like, well, I feel this way about them and it ain't correct. Because there's so many different things I have to factor in, right?
I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that's with people, period. That's not exclusive only to women.
Actually, it is. Because I am not going to even halfway analyze most of the dudes I meet. I don't even give a fuck about most of the dudes I meet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to share something with somebody. Like, I went to work and I made some friends at work that are guys. Because we work together and we share that excitement of finishing the job. Done. Yes. So those are my friends. I knew you from like way back. Like when I said, bring Tony over here. He can come too. Because I knew him from way back. There's a connection, right? But some new guy that walks up in my life, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Unless we're going to start working together. That's what I'm saying. But when girls come around, you really have to know a girl. Even if you're not fucking her or dating her. Like when my buddy had his girl over here. I had to understand what type of person she was to know how to navigate just the whole social situation so I'm not an asshole. So no, you know what I mean? Like, I don't do that for dudes. If you don't like it here, get the fuck out. Right? But with girls, it's like, no, let me make sure things are okay. And make sure things are better.
That's really based on like if you feel something intimate, you know what I'm saying? So if it's from that perspective, then obviously dudes know.
I don't feel something intimate for my buddy's girlfriend. I just was like, oh, a girl's here, she's probably gonna want it to be better than a guy would care. Like that's just how I feel about that situation, even though, like, see, so if it was just him coming over, he might have been sitting in some Cheetos. He might have had to bust out the vacuum and vacuum something off or something. I don't know. I'm actually not dirty, but I'm just saying if a guy comes here, I'm less likely to try to straighten up. Call that simping. Call me a simp. Fucking call me a simp. No, I'm just a nice guy. I'll take people out. If somebody comes and visits me,
I think you're a fucking asshole.
They go out. Okay, well, I mean, I'm not a fucking asshole. I'm just an asshole. Currently not fucking.
92% asshole.
Oh, you can call me 100% asshole. I give zero fucks, but
No, I wouldn't give you the 400. You know what I'm saying? Because there's people way fucking worse than you. You know what I'm saying? That would definitely be up there. You know what
thanks,
I'm saying?
man. That is the most backhanded compliment I've ever had.
Hey,
there's people way worse than you too, Virtue.
Yeah, it's an evil compliment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
don't you're up there, but like you're not the worst of the worst.
Right. You're not a complete waste of life, but yeah.
Put you down like a dog in the street.
So yeah, the reason I switch over to like females and stuff is because I've been having a lot of that in my life recently.
Females?
Not females in general.
Female problems?
Just I've been seeing it with a lot of people, with myself. There's been a little bit of a slide in my own resignation. Like I'm on me now. I'm doing me. I'm trying to get my shit together, get myself happy. I can't focus and give anybody any happiness till I do, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, but I try to tell that to a lot of people I know. Two of which hate it. They think I'm a real asshole because I'm like, work on yourself. Stop working on that. Work on you. You're working on that. You're going to be doing that forever.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the ass backwards logic was because the motherfuckers come to you because they think enough of you to seek some guidance from you. You tell them what to do and they don't do it, and they come back and complain to you about it like, motherfucker, what the fuck is you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? But like,
right, because a lot of times that guidance is going to be you have to starve your demon for a bit.
Yeah. But see, like, the fucked up part about it is, though, man, it's like when it's somebody whose wisdom you trust give you guidance and you don't do it, then you slipping. You know what I'm saying? But like sometimes, I think we also know that sometimes wisdom, little bits of wisdom can come from anywhere. You know what I mean? It's just, it's just a matter of do you catch them? You know what I mean? Because sometimes you hear some shit from somebody randomly, yo, you should do this. You know what I'm saying? And you don't do it, and then you look at it later like, fuck, I should have done that.
You know what? I think a lot of that comes from being humble. You have to be humble enough to accept a bit of advice from somebody whom you may think doesn't deserve to be listened to, like a bum.
Yeah,
you might think
absolutely.
That bum can't tell me anything.
Absolutely.
Because I'm more than that. I'm better than that. Yeah. I probably already know everything he knows, right?
Yeah.
But talking to bums, you start to find out things that you didn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You see a whole different lens of life that way. You're talking to bums and shit. No bullshit.
I know. That's why I talk to homeless people a lot, and I call them bums because they think it's funny. I'd be like, "What up, bum?" And he laughs at me, but then I'm a bum too.
Yeah.
I come from the bums.
Yeah.
I was in the street.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I was in the street. It's like saying the N-word. You know what I mean? If you're from it, you can
nigga.
You know what I'm saying?
Say it one time.
Nigga. Wait a minute.
All right, that's it.
Did you really?
That's
it. But you see, ain't no. What's done is done. What the fuck?
What's done is done. Thank you. What's done is done. Thank
you. It to me ain't nothing.
I know.
Ain't nothing. The only thing it's something is when somebody has a feeling. I'm a caring person, so if you have a bad feeling from me,
put you like this.
I regret that.
I'm gonna tell you some shit real quick though, because we was talking about your level of evil, 92-point-something%. Right?
All right. I'm not fucking evil.
Right? I'm gonna still back your other 8% like this. You know what I'm saying? Because I asked you to say nigga real quick and you did. And I said, all right, that's that. What's done is done. You know what I'm saying? Because you my nigga. Right? So if somebody got a problem with you saying that shit, you can come talk to me first about that. You You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you don't need to disclaim for me.
Yeah, but regardless, like I said, that's how I'm gonna back your 8%.
Let me put it to you like this real quick, and I appreciate your backing me. Okay, I'm not afraid of things, right?
I know that,
so
bro.
like when it comes, so like it's literally something I think is a deficiency in me. You know what I mean?
The 8%?
Well, I don't know what it is.
Or the 92?
I don't know about this concerning good and evil.
Okay.
But it is something I have that or don't have, which is that basic fear. You know what I mean? Okay. I will put myself in a spot. I'll hang off that edge. I'll do things that like most people won't do without thinking about it. My fear comes later in the night when I'm like, damn, what if my hand slipped? I would have fell to my death. Like, or something like that. Like, at night, I think, like, man, what if I would have fucked up? What if I wouldn't have hit that shot? What if I wouldn't have this and that? Like, it's a weird backwards type of fear I have.
Because you think about where you might be had you not type deal?
Yeah. Okay. It's a backwards fear, but at the same time, it gives me a level of comfort. Yeah. But I'm not if somebody says, hey, say this word, right? And I'm just going to be like, blah, right? And the only thing to fear would be if somebody punched me, right? Or did something to hurt me because of it. And I would just be like, if I even sensed like somebody was about to punch me, physically punch me in the face.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to be in a spot where you can just be like, oh.
No, there's going to be a level of excitement there.
For you.
Because I get to like try stuff then. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I really want to try like seeing...
In self-defense.
I really want to try to see if I can do the whole you can't punch me thing. You ever seen that dude? He's like, he'll go up to people in the street and give them gloves and be like, I'll give you fucking $20 if you can punch me. And I won't hit back. And they sit there and he just dodges the whole time and doesn't get hit, right? I'd like to see if I could do that. If it was in a real fight, I don't know. I'm just not really scared of it. So if I say that word and somebody tries to hit me, I'm not worried even if they're going to beat me up. Right? If they do beat me up, that would be cool. Don't kill me. That will suck. You know what I mean? Like, but that's how I'll handle it. I'll be like, oh shit, I'm getting beat up. Fuck it, I'm not winning. Oh no. And then it's like, oh, you're killing me? Weak. You know what I mean? Like, this sucks. Don't do that. But I'm not scared. You know what I mean? So thankfully for that, there are many, many people who, if you said that to them, say it. Just like, say it. You know what I mean? They'd be like, I can't, or something, weird. Like, they won't be able to handle it. You gotta be able to walk into any world, man. The world's full of worlds. Like you said, every person's a different world. 9 billion worlds all in one world. And you gotta be able to walk into each world and just be like, I'm not scared of you.
Hey, it's me. Yeah.
Right.
Take it or leave it.
Here I am. Yeah. Don't mess with me. Yeah. I won't mess with you.
Yeah, but I'm not coming here to mess with you.
Right.
I'm like, what's up?
This is a very fun, interesting conversation for no reason. There's zero topic, like zero line of thought.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, though, the shit done made sense all the way through this motherfucker.
You know what else makes sense?
The algorithm.
I'll tell you what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. 7-Eleven, okay?
Don't trash talk 7-Eleven, man.
I'm not gonna trash talk
7-Eleven my go-to, man.
They finally released.
You know what I'm saying? What is it? Right? Is it right there? 7-Eleven. That's my go-to.
Oh God. So anyway, 7-Eleven. The name 7-Eleven. It used to be called like Tino's or something like that. I forget the name of it, but something's regular. Okay. And then they changed it to 7-Eleven to represent their new hours of operation were 7 to 11, 7 days a week. Okay. When they went to 24 hours, they never changed the 7-Eleven part. So I guess it was just too brandable at that point. Yeah. The name. But they finally...
They'll probably... Like, think about it, though. If they would have changed the shit to... What would they change it to? 24/7?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit probably wouldn't have stuck. Like, hey, guys, we're rebranding. We're changing it to 24/7.
Right. I mean, they're on the last leg anyway. New things are happening, but When you bought your coffee, what kind of coffee did you get?
Regular coffee.
Right?
Put some motherfucking, what is it, half a half in that joint. A little bit of sweetness.
When you're adding your sugar, do you taste it
No.
to see if it's good?
Nah, I got it down pat.
Okay, good. Dude, there's nothing I hate more, man, when I'm standing there and somebody puts sugar in, tastes it, stirs it some more, and then puts another sugar in and goes,
No.
you're right. Oh, God, I just want to slap the coffee.
It's the whole thing. Bing!
Start over, bitch. I'm fucking... Get out of my way.
Like motherfucking, like knock him into the motherfucking goddamn, into the beer truck.
Right. And everybody knows how 7-Eleven's made up.
Yeah.
So his ass would get knocked straight back into those little pies in a box. Those little pies in a box. A whole rack of them back there.
Bing! Whole fucking shelf get knocked over to the next.
That's where the Hostess cupcakes are. That's where the Twinkies are. That's where those little...
Nigga, dog, they got some motherfucking... They got some goddamn key lime Twinkies, dog. I seen that shit the other day, man. I was like, man...
What?
Like I wasn't gonna buy it, but it made me think of... what the fuck was that movie with Woody Harrelson and shit with the zombies and shit?
Yeah,
What was
yeah.
it?
Zombieland.
Yeah, that joint. It made me think of that joint because he was just trying to find that Twinkie.
Well, that reminds me of...
I was like, man, maybe I should buy this joint. Just hang on to this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, that Twinkie is shrinking that bitch, but, like, you know what I mean? It won't become unmoist even if you seal that bitch.
Right. Now,
Which is weird.
here's something I heard, and I read a story. Actually, I saw a news thing. It was like it was a long time ago. It was on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about this old man who eats Twinkies every single day. And apparently, because Twinkies are one of the few products you can buy that actually have nitroglycerin in the ingredients, but that's good for your heart. So this old fucking man had like this super strong heart, and he's, you know what I mean, lived a long ass healthy life where his heart never was a problem.
Because it's from eating Twinkies.
From eating Twinkies. He swore up and down it's the Twinkies that kept him alive. Now, science will always say what they want to say about people and their health and everything, but each man learns something about his body as he lives his life.
Yeah.
And you develop a gut instinct for certain things.
And it was like, you know, it was just the right amount of bread, the moistness, the carbohydrates, just enough sugar. And it tastes okay. I'm like, maybe one Twinkie. I eat the other one later. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean? Because especially when you get older and shit, you know what I mean? You ain't doing much. You know what I'm saying? You ain't, you know, hustling, busting, out and back and about and shit. You know, once you start to get older and shit, but it's just like, you know.
But he had
just
that,
enough.
But he had that gut feeling that there's nitroglycerin in the Twinkie. That's helping me. Somehow he just knew that. That was his own mind saying nitroglycerin's good for the heart. It's in the Twinkie, so it's good for you.
Isn't nitroglycerin what they use to make dynamite?
Yeah.
Explosive.
But it's also what they use for your like angina pills and shit. If you have heart palpitations and things like that. Yeah, you could take nitroglycerin pills. I actually have a little vial of like 40-year-old nitroglycerin pills back there. For real, like I don't know if they could explode. They never have, and I incrementally every once in a while just shake the vial. But apparently, if nitroglycerin,
one time it just boom.
well, apparently, yeah, exactly,
It blows your hand up.
Apparently, it's nitroglycerin is like will sweat out of TNT. That's how they get it. Like whatever is in the TNT, like after a long time, a stick of dynamite will sit there. It'll get wet.
Okay.
And that's the nitroglycerin sweating out. So if you have a box of dynamite that's been sitting around for 20 years, don't move it. Because nitroglycerin is so volatile that if you shake it, kabloom! You know what I mean? The whole thing goes up. And
That would be fucked up. So then what would you do with a case like that?
you'd have to literally like take it very carefully, handle each one of those things, and like very carefully harvest the nitroglycerin off the top of it very carefully. It's the only thing you could do. It's
I mean, why not just blow it up?
that's a yeah. Either that or just stand really far back and throw a rock at it. You know, that could also get rid of it. But if it's a touchy situation and you don't want to blow up the building that it's in or something, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be really careful with that shit. Anyway, this takes me. All that was about was the fact that this old man He just kind of knew what his body wanted and needed.
Mm.
And
he got it from Twinkies.
And there's science that goes against him that says, nah, he's ridiculous. He's retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same way that I myself think saturating my body with THC the way I do has kept me at a certain level and staved off certain illnesses that could possibly even be genetic that I should have by now.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, one of those things is cataracts.
Okay.
I doubt that I'm going to end up with it at this rate.
Okay.
But I have this fear that if I just suddenly clean up and stop smoking weed,
that you will start developing.
Like everything might just happen all at once. All these things might just hit me at once.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm on that. I feel like I'm almost sitting on top of a razor blade.
Yeah, you're like floating into plant life. The next thing you're going to do is regenerate your pineal gland. And then once you do that, you're going to be able to harvest everything you need from the sun, and then you're there.
I'm glad that you've actually listened, that you actually caught that, because that is something that honestly is it's a real thing. Like us as beings,
Yeah.
if our shit was activated in quite the way it's supposed to be,
Yeah, that's how it would be.
we would be able to live without killing. I'm just saying, like
Bro, we still struggling. We still struggling with killing each other. Though, you know what I'm saying? So that says a lot about how far along we really are. If you think about it.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. Like I've always said, the aliens are not going to come here while we're still a race of death.
Yeah, there's no point.
Yeah, until we become a race of like love.
Yeah,
nobody's going to come and get involved with us.
Yeah.
What kind of alien wants to get a nuke shot at them?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, damn, I brought my whole mothership here and they just shot a nuke at it.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you something, man. You just put me on to something. That's exactly how this shit gonna go down. You know what I'm saying? The alien's gonna come and he sees how bad we are to each other, so he's here to save us. Right? So we have to create this, this new thing together so we can listen to him and then we'll tell you what to do.
Here's the thing though. Somebody's got to be getting screwed here, because Elon Musk right now is sending up like what it's supposed to be 12,000 or something interconnected satellites that go around the world that allow everybody in the world to get internet for free. Okay, that's his dream thing. He wants to put up all these satellites around the world. It's like a net, and it can be used for good and evil and all that shit. But my thing is, if they were going to do something, the best thing to do would be get something in the sky that we can see. Something that they can be like, look, it's here, right? Humans will look up and see it. People will look with their telescopes and see some big cube in the sky. And then we declare it a threat, have a couple of things happen on the Earth where we're like, oh no, we got to stop it. And then we do one of the first in many, many, many years upper atmospheric nuclear detonation. Mm-hmm. Right? We've done them before. We have done them before. We send a rocket all the way up and blow it up, way up in space, just to see what happens to the rocket, to the explosion and all that shit. We try that shit. We haven't done it in so many years, though.
When's the last time it's been done?
I can't remember. I just remember that it was literally black and white days. In the black and white days. You know what I mean? That's
you're talking about, so like in the, 1940s, 50s, 60s?
Well, I'll just go. It's very
any random year will do. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact. You know what I mean? Just somewhere close.
I got you. When was the last upper atmospheric nuclear detonation test? Shit.
According to Wikipedia, on July 9th, 1962, at 9 hours 0 minutes and 9 seconds Coordinated Universal Time, the Starfish Prime test was detonated at an altitude of 250 miles.
Operation Fishbowl series. And that's what flat earthers talk about that all the time. Operation Fishbowl, like that's us trying to figure out a way out of this fishbowl. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And why would detonating a nuke up there get us out? Unless they thought we were enclosed in some kind of structure.
Yeah, which is why they call it the fishbowl. And we need to start figuring out if there's a way we can send something outside of here, and how far?
Could you imagine if we did find out that, like, there was more Earth than they show us on the map? That outside of, like, Antarctica, instead of it just all coming together, like, in two lumps at the top and bottom, that it's actually way more land, like, huge continents out there that nobody's on. Can you imagine, like, because how would we know?
Right.
How would we really, really know?
Yeah.
And we would have to listen to the experts and their coordinates and their trajectories and their all that. We would have to listen to the experts on that. Mm-hmm. The experts would be working off of information that is given to them by the few people who are allowed to go up past that area. You know what I mean? Into those areas.
Yeah.
Not many people are allowed in.
Or satellites being able to picture it, you know what I'm saying? But even then, how would you know for sure unless you were the one looking at the satellite visual and shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, is it really up there? Because I need to fucking be able to see that motherfucker up there while I'm looking at the picture to make 100% sure, you know what I mean? But even despite that, it's like, but then, you know what I'm saying?
Right, but I can go on Google Earth and, like, see the Earth from here, zoom all the way into my house, but the cars aren't the same.
Yeah, because it's a picture.
Because it's a whole different... Yeah, it's just a picture.
Yeah.
So they can just... They know what my house looks like. You know the point where it's like you zoom in, and then when you hit, like, Earth view, everything just hops down there? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, your view just hops down, and it's pretty quick. There's like a...
Yeah.
And I'm like, all in between there is them saying, that's something we don't know. We can't show you. You know what I mean? We can show you from way back here, the Earth. We can show you the continent. We can even show you, like, your state. But the moment you want to see, like, your street view, we have to, like because
zoom in past a whole bunch.
Right.
Like you can't just pinch and unpinch and unpinch and unpinch and go all the way down.
And then be on the roof. And then climb down the roof. It's not that interactive.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I actually... The conspiracies involving the flat Earth and all that, I think that there's a lot to this that we're not told. There is other land up for grabs that we haven't seen yet. They're just, we used to be in fucking Europe. Like, we don't know if there's any more land anywhere. And then we just sailed a little bit and found this whole other continent. You know?
And so when you say we, you mean white people?
Just humans in general.
I mean, because, that's not where people were originated from, Europe.
But the Arabs were crossing the fucking ocean before fucking Columbus did it. Well, the Vikings were doing their thing, but they were just kind of following land routes.
But the Asians did it way before that.
Yeah, well, the Asians the Asians did
before
everything
they did it
way before us.
Yeah.
They were the first theater of humanity. All the way over the land of the rising sun was the original spot where everything was happening. Then it shifted over to the center, and a bunch of shit happened with the Fertile Crescent and all of that. And now everything's moved over all the way to this side of the planet for this era of what's happening. And everything else has kind of still got their remnants of those old ways as their identity. But what's our identity? Our identity is Elon Musk, going away, going out of this humanity. You know what I mean? Exiting the cycle of love and hate and war and peace that happens here on this planet with the people of this planet. I mean, can you imagine setting up a new place where it was so detrimental for us to work together and love each other to survive?
Like I get what you're saying, but I put it to you like this. Let's say 2 years from now, right? And get a motherfucking, call it a lottery, maybe, but probably not. But like, a draft is probably more appropriate. You know what I'm saying? They just like, blah, in the computer and shit, random, just start spitting out random social security numbers and shit, right?
You're going to Mars?
Yes.
I would go. I think you can opt out.
going.
They'll have to put a system if it's nefarious, they'll make you. If it's not, you can opt in or out. But there's a girl right now, she's 16. Actually, I think this was 2 years ago. She might be 18 by now, who was already starting her training because she was chosen to be one of the first people to go to Mars. And she's been doing her training like ever since. And Elon, man, he's been talking a long time now that 2025 will be there. So that's another couple years of testing. He's gone from
what, 4?
Yeah, but he's gone from like
2?
wrecking rockets to landing them. So I mean that is light years above what anybody else is doing right now.
Yeah.
Even NASA's not building anything.
Like, you think they could shoot off and then come back and land?
Right.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was fake. I really did. When I first saw it, I was like, you know what it looks like? It looks like they rewound. You know? Like a takeoff. To make it look like a landing. But then I looked at it closer and I was like, no, they didn't do that. They could have, but they would have had to also manipulate the smoke. So it shows the landing sequence making smoke instead of like backwards.
Right, but see, the other thing too, because I seen one of the videos and shit on that nigga Twitter and shit. Like, one of the things you can look at in the joint to see that, like, how it's guiding itself back down, and not just with the propulsion from the rocket, but like they had joints come off of the sides and shit, kind of like Iron Man suit and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, like almost like that joint hovering and shit instead of falling. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It's allowing gravity to bring it down, and it's using the force of the rocket, you know, to go against the speed of gravity, and those joints coming out the sides just like, so don't just get down this and just land.
It's damn beautiful.
Yeah,
honestly, when I was watching it, when I was watching them launch the first Starship, it wasn't the first one. It was like the second or third one they launched. The big starships.
See, I'm gonna tell you something. You know what? You know why Elon testing rockets instead of whole craft is because he already know, like, you can fit maybe say 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 rockets to sustain a certain amount of weight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he already thought beyond that. He'd be like, can I get this part down? If I can, then I can do the rest.
Right. Well, I mean, no, actually, what's happening now, man, I'm looking at them building the Starship, and every time I see a picture of them building it, it's literally a tin can. Now, the inside, they're saying, has all these different compartments and levels, and people live here, and things are all in this and that and this and that. But when I look at it, it is literally some sheet metal. And I looked at the schematics. They got sheet metal as big as can be produced anywhere in the world. Okay. So they have the largest rolls of sheet metal you can get anywhere in the world. And they just roll it out, cut it, make a circle, and then bolt it all together, and then put another one on top and bolt it all together. And I didn't even see any kind of like reinforcement inside or anything. But then they sat there and they filled it with pressure until it burst. That's called your pressure test. They see if they can get it up to safe pressure level,
Right.
and then go above that,
Right.
to see how far until it bursts.
Right.
I haven't seen them launch. I haven't seen the inside of one of these things. That's my problem. Before they launch,
rockets.
Before they launch,
Yeah.
I want to see inside. That day, open it up, let everybody see what the inside looks like. Have you sealed everything? Is there an extra layer now that you've placed inside of rings? What's going on in there? Because if this is just what you showed us, you building, then it's a tin can. It's a tin can that you have, like, that you're just blowing up things. Yeah. And you're getting a budget for it. You're using more gasoline than anybody to get these things up in the air. And then what are you doing with them? So he sent up the first Starship, and watching it come back down was gorgeous. Watching it go up was beautiful. Seeing the way the way SpaceX makes engines, they make these Raptor engines that like work together, and they have to angle them exactly perfectly to get the ship to go up straight, you know. And it's just awesome to see the flames mixed together in these diamond patterns and shit. And then it looks like fucking heaven opens up, like all around it, these lights and shit. And then when it dropped back down, it was just like, you could just imagine the silence. You could just imagine being on that ship, hearing the roar of the engines taking you up, and then all of a sudden, shut off. You know what I mean? Like, that thing enters back into the atmosphere in a belly flop. They call it the belly flop, right? Mm-hmm. And it's the only wings it has are made to keep it in that belly flop position. Mm-hmm. Until it finally gets down and it just goes from the top, shoots up, the bottom pushes in, explosion. Explodes. You know what I mean? Like, because they don't have it down yet. You know what I mean? They don't have it completely down.
This is what happened to the first one.
Second one too. I think the third one even dropped.
Like I seen one like pretty recently that landed and that was it. Like I didn't see no explosion.
All right, that works then.
I think I seen it on the Twitter.
Right. Well, the last one I watched, he landed that one too, and then it exploded. But that's because there was like it exploded later, but that was because there was some kind of fuel leak. Which I'm just thinking, man, like that's always been my problem with planes and shit like that. Like, man makes them. So it's some guy sitting there making sure everything's tight. Yeah. And who knows what kind of day he had.
You could argue maybe that's how the Challenger blew up.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Of course, some people argue the Challenger didn't blow up. And there's even pictures like this one here. Of a fucking, apparently all of the people that were on board the Challenger still alive today.
What would be the reason behind something like that?
No clue. But there's also pictures like that about, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to find these, about the 9/11 hijackers, how they're all still alive.
I mean, I seen that way back when, that like, the list that they showed, like, at least 7 of them niggas was still alive. I remember that shit way back then.
Right.
I don't know the exact number, but whatever.
But
I'm hip.
But we can be fed anything. We can be fed anything. They can take pictures of these guys from like 8 years ago and show it to us and be like, look, he's still alive, and it's a lie. Like, anybody can make anything happen. Like, I do believe that they got some people, some patsies, and I think it's not hard to go into like the radical world of Islam and find somebody who's willing to die for the cause. So you find a few of those, and you kill them in a plane, and you bring down the fucking towers in a certain way, and it's just like...
And you make a bunch of money in the process.
Right. Exactly. I saw plenty of shit about 9/11, but what are we going to go down that rabbit hole? There were no windows on the plane. It was a military-issued jet. It had a payload at the bottom front nose of it that exploded on impact. There wasn't enough gasoline
to cause an explosion like that, or to blow out the whole bottom of the building and shit.
Correct, and there wasn't enough force of impact or enough pressure from the metal to have it explode all the way out the other side.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much to this.
And collapse Building 7.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the rest of the buildings around that Jones just like, we're good. But somehow that building also just straight down.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. The building that had all that information in it.
Mm-hmm. I remember all that shit, bro.
All the information. You know what intrigued me the most about 9/11? That apparently there was like a few 100 metric tons of gold and silver in vaults.
Yeah.
That was pouring into the bottom.
It was molten. Yeah.
It was pouring down into the bottom of the place. And I'm just wondering, like, what I just imagine immediately the police, the warden, everybody setting up a perimeter around any pore zones, any molten metal pore zones, you know what I mean? And somebody trying to make out with all that, all that scrap, all that salvage. So much metal in that building, a scrapper's dream, how much money you could get for all that metal. Yeah.
But you remember though, bro, most of that shit got shipped overseas.
Yeah.
Just like, look, get it out of here.
And got used in pot metal, was all mixed up into like other metals and turned into like a semi-pure metal called pot metal that can be used for multitudes of things like making making guitars. Which, by the way, I got a new guitar, courtesy of a friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Derek. Thanks a lot for the Ibanez. Now,
It's funny that it's called an Ibanez because he calls himself I.
right.
Interesting. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anyway, the Fender Squire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Telecaster or something like that. No, it's made by Fender, but
Telecaster.
this was made in China.
Mm-hmm.
The Fender, the one that I was using before.
Mm-hmm.
And the weight difference between the two is insane. The Ibanez is made from like hardcore wood, like I'm not sure, oak or something. You know what I mean? It's insanely heavy.
Heavier wood, yeah.
And the difference in sound quality from the pickups. Now the pickup is nothing but a microphone. They use electromagnetics to do the mic. So it's a bunch of copper wrapped around a magnet. You know what I mean? So the Chinese version uses pot metal copper, meaning different copper from around the world all melted down into a new semi-pure copper. It's good. It conducts, but it's not pure.
Because it's a bunch of different types of mix.
Right. So like what we're using is now on the Ibanez is like beautiful sound coming out of these pickups, dude. It's like I'm like, damn, that's fucking sweet. I had to get used to it. I thought it was not good, and then I plugged my guitar back in, and then I was like, oh wait, it is better. Holy shit, what's going on here? Like, I'm not used to playing with quality anything. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I was, you know? I wish I was that rich-minded guy who, like, really just had to have the best of everything.
Yeah.
I already treat myself wealthier than I am. I already give myself things that, like, most people would say, no, I can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is true.
I do what I'm living the way I want to live. I swear to God, that's another thing about like no fear. Like, what are you gonna do to me? You know what I mean? I feel like a guy who hit rock bottom, and then instead of trying to get out from there, I just nailed my feet to the ground, man. I'm gonna stay at rock bottom, and I'm gonna get good at it. I'm gonna be the best rock on the bottom, baby.
You know what's
I mean?
funny, man? Like, some people would say that's insane, but then some would say, man, that is genuine fucking wisdom, man. That's funny as shit.
I'm just saying, man. It just makes more sense to me to do that because I'm not gonna go pretend to be a fucking parakeet, dude. I'm not gonna fly in the sky.
Yeah.
It's gonna be what I am. So I can make the most out of what I do, and have a podcast like this for you.
The king of the rocks.
You know?
The king of the rocks.
So, thank you for coming and hanging out with us here at Rock Bottom, which is, you know, it's like, it's quite a little bit past Bikini Bottom.
What the fuck does that mean?
Not quite as toxic.
What the fuck is Bikini Bottom?
SpongeBob.
I don't watch that shit.
So SpongeBob lives in Bikini Bottom, which is under the water, under the ocean, you know?
Okay.
And it's kind of like it's funny because Bikini Island in real life is a place where all of the natives had to be moved away because the U.S. Tested nuclear weapons in that area, and the fallout drifted over into their island. So they had to all leave their native island they lived in for thousands of years. All these natives had to be shipped out and pushed into society and turned into whatever. And all of them are hoping one day to be able to go back to their homeland, which is still catching radiation. And there's a dome of concrete over top of the radioactive material that's left there. And that dome is withering. So once the sea completely crushes the dome, it's going to create a cloud of radioactive dust that like floats back over, covers the whole area again. Like,
yeah,
it's a big thing.
Where is this shit?
Bikini Island. It's you know, I'm not going to go into detail because I don't know exactly. I know it's a very tropical place. Maybe
Pacific or Atlantic?
Hawaii, maybe near Hawaii.
Pacific.
Something like that.
Pacific.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's a really controversial issue, and it's funny that SpongeBob lives in Bikini Bottom, and all of the things that live there are mutated animals and creatures
Right.
and weird, like...
Yeah, that's fucking weird as shit. Yeah, they're at the bottom of the ocean right there.
Right, and the sponge can talk, and, like, all the weird shit. We got bodybuilding fucking fish, and... You know what I mean? It's just... There's a goddamn squirrel that lives down there in a dome. You know what I mean? Like... And can only come out with her swimming suit. Yeah. It's fucking weird. It's weird, dude. I remember one day my son liked watching it, and then, like, all of a sudden, he just screamed when he saw SpongeBob one day. And that was it. He didn't want nothing to do with SpongeBob ever again. Wow. I was like, what did they do to my son? Right? Geez, something happened. Like a subliminal message was tossed in there he caught.
Man, that could be a dangerous thing. You know what I'm saying? You might see that shit, like, in 15 years and shit that's gonna flash on the TV and shit like that movie Serenity. Yeah. And he just fucking snap. Pow, 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 pow. We're like...
Right.
The fuck?
Or like when you take off Jackie Chan's collar in that movie.
Which one?
Is it Jackie Chan? No, Jet Li. They took off his collar.
Oh,
he goes ape shit.
Oh, fucking Dog, I think it was. Some shit like that. I remember that, John.
The movie was like, I don't know, Unstoppable. I don't know what the name of the movie was, but...
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Unleashed or something.
Unleashed.
Like that.
That was it. As soon as they take off his collar, he just goes ape shit and beats everybody up except his master. Anyway, guys, I got to get off this line because you know what?
It's been long enough.
My thighs hurt. My thighs are burning up, man. I worked my thighs.
You know what else need to burn up?
What?
That algorithm. The algorithm. Put it down at the bottom. The algorithm.
Right. Have fun with that, guys. Go down there and comment poop, scoop, shadoop, doop. Spell it out. If you can spell poop, doop, shadoop, doop, poop, scoop, shadoop, doop properly, we'll send you something. Fuck that shit. I'm not going to send you nothing. Fucking send you a heart and a wonderful comment below. All right, guys. One time. Yeah.